Hey guys, it's been a long time. I haven't made a video. Reason being is basically I found in my life that um, so basically when I finished school in like 2015, I wanted to do breakdancing, and essentially what I did with that was my theory was like I want to get really good at this, so I got to do it 18 hours a day. And basically I learnt over the next year or two that that's really a bad strategy, and trying to rush to get things and saying I'm gonna get these 20 moves in 1 year, I'm gonna achieve this, achieve that in like such a short period of time, and just gonna go 100% and forget about my emotions and whatnot. Well, that wasn't working, so basically now I've stopped breakdancing. I figured out what I want to do, which is filmmaking and storytelling and script writing. And so I've been doing that. And essentially, what I found is the best way to do it is just to build like strong habits over time, one at a time. So initially, when I wanted to build habits, even not to do with breakdancing, like I wanted to eat better, I wanted to go gym, I wanted to sleep better, I wanted to meditate, do yoga, whatnot. It was I'd do all of them at once, make YouTube videos, and so I'd like okay, so I'd go from on YouTube and social media all day to and it was bad sleep schedule and everything. And then I'd try to do like 10 things at once, and it would fall through. And then I was like, oh, I'm such a failure, blah, blah, blah. And then over the last year or so, 2 years maybe, I've just figured out, okay, if I want to get something and start doing it well, I need to shave, damn. And start doing it well, I need to just, find one thing and do that. And nothing but that one thing until I've really got that down, and then move on to the next thing. And that's what I've been doing. So, starting off with simple stuff like scrub my teeth every night, which sounds easy, but I wasn't doing it, and then I did it. And basically, because I know my passion is screenwriting, I've basically made it a habit to wake up and do an hour to 2 hours of research or writing. I've been doing that pretty consistently, I would say the last 4 to 5 months. And it started off with, I'd plan my day out minute by minute, and then I wouldn't stick to it, and I'd feel bad. And then I'd have all these different activities going on, like I'm going to go here or there. I'm going to do yoga, I'm doing yoga gym, I'm going to whatever. And so I would only do like maybe an hour of study that day. And eventually what I just figured out a few months ago is I just got rid of everything. So I was like doing nothing, and I just had a blank slate. And I just went from there, and I've slowly been building up, and for the last, I would say 2 months, I've been studying every day for at least an hour. That does vary because sometimes, maybe I'm studying a book and I finish the book. That means 2 or 3 days after that I need to figure out what I need to do next. So there's those gaps, but pretty consistently I've been doing that, and I've started getting up to about 3 hours of studying a day, which is essentially where I want to keep it for a while. Reason being is I've been listening to Jordan Peterson. He talks about procedural memory, which is like memory where you you just know how to do it, like walking. So you see a baby try to walk, and it looks like the hardest thing in the world, and you're like, how can I do that? But like it's a set pattern of behaviors that's just in your mind. Or like another one is like, I work at a fast food restaurant, like all the activities I just know how to do them all, so I don't have to think. I'm just like, okay, pick up this, do this, blah blah blah. So with procedural memory, you can basically do procedural memory stuff all day for like 12 hours. But what he's saying is he can study for a good like 3 hours concentrated, where you're learning new stuff and trying to apply it and grow your knowledge. He can do that for about 3 hours, and then he's gone. And he's like he's done this for like 40 years, and he's, made a huge career out of, his knowledge of psychology and whatnot. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to go 3 hours of non-procedural memory, learning new things, and I'm just going to keep it at that, and I'm just going to kind of try and get better concentration and whatnot. And so essentially what I've been doing is, now I got 3 hours, I just finished that 3 hours, and then I have the whole rest of the day off, and then with the rest of the day I can figure out other things I want to do. So I've been cleaning my room, and in the sidelines, trying to set up habits very slowly over a long period of time. So I've just started with, I've been trying to eat better. So I've basically replaced my breakfast from just having 4 Weet-Bix and milk, soy milk, in the morning. I replaced that with, oats, berries, mixed berries, turmeric, linseed, ground linseed, almond milk, and that's like a much healthier breakfast. It's like, it's just like I'm like 1% more energetic throughout the day, and that adds up over each day. And then, I have the same lunch every day, which is so I used to just have hummus, tomato, and spinach sandwich. And so I added avocado into it, and then I changed the hummus from store-bought hummus to homemade hummus, so it has no like oil in it, and it's like more whole foods. What else? And so I just wanted, and I've done that for 2, and I've been trying to find a good dinner. It hasn't been successful, so I'm like, I'll eat fast food or something some nights, or it'd be perfect if I lived in the city, because the city has like these all you can eat like Indian places, which is like their whole religion is like they want to serve, so it's like really cheap and it's like really nutritious food. But so slowly figuring out maybe 1 meal a week, testing it out. Okay, this meal doesn't work. So I've tried about 4 or 5 different dinners, and I didn't like any of them. Couldn't stick with them, so I just try a different recipe each week, and then buy different cookbooks and find out what works. So you see, like, that's something, if I really wanted to, I could go all in and figure out a new diet in a week or 2, but I know that'll just burn me out, and I know like it'll just stuff up everything else in my life. So what I've learnt is I just gotta, it's gonna take me 6 months to a year. It's just gonna take the rest of my life to figure out how to eat well, but it's just gonna get, every few weeks it'll just get 1 meal better, 1 ingredient that has less processed food or whatever, or sugar or whatever. So and that's what I'm doing, just very slowly integrating better habits into my life. And this vlog, that's why I stopped this vlog. Sorry, it took me that whole time to say like this is why I stopped the vlog, just to like give myself a blank slate. I might stop this vlog again, but as I've been saying, like, I started off, blank slate of a day, just slowly building up from studying 20 minutes to a day, and then moving up to 3 hours a day, and now I've got that 3 hours pretty well done. And if I take on too much stuff and my studying goes down, I'll start getting rid of different stuff so the studying goes up, if that makes sense. Because that's the number one priority. That's what I care about most. So I might make these videos again. I might quit them if it affects other things. They're not high priority. They're priority like number 7 or 8, So I apologize if... I know there's only... I got 5 subscribers. I know there's one guy who likes watching them. So I apologize if I leave again, but, and so... Not sure. Yeah, I'll make this a long video. Basically just going through what my goals are at the moment. So, been studying, been really trying to figure out like what the game of story is. It's a hard thing to figure out. how do I explain it? So when you like, if you're playing basketball, it's very easy to understand what the goal is in basketball. Like, you got to score more points than the opponent within a certain rule set, and so from there, with that base, you can like, from that you can build out different ways of like, you can understand how to get better, because you can see, okay, I got to get more points than the opponent. What are the actions I need to do to better myself, so when I'm on the basketball court, I can defeat my opponent. So you can practice shooting, you can practice dribbling, you can practice passing, you can practice all these things. And it's very, you know what to do to get better. It's very easy to know. And if you got a coach or something, they can point out, okay, you're doing this well, you're doing this bad. But with screenwriting, it's such a broad subject. It's been very hard to find like what the fundamental tools of screenwriting is. I read a lot of screenwriting. Okay, I read 4 screenwriting books, which is more than most. Okay, but a book is a long thing, and a lot of people say, "Oh, I read 1 or 2 books in this." They didn't read 1 or 2 books in that. I actually read these through. I wrote notes on them. None of them seemed to help until I got to the 5th book, Terror of the Thousand Faces, which I'm not sure if I ever talked about in my vlogs, but I've been studying that heavily. I basically went each paragraph, because it's a very hard book to read. Each paragraph, I wrote the thesis, main ideas, and material I'm familiar with. And so that took me a long time, because there's 1,000 paragraphs, and each paragraph took about 10 minutes, so you can do the maths. And now I'm going through writing an essay on each chapter, and I got stuck on the 2nd chapter, so I stopped doing that, and because it's about tragedy and comedy, and there's just a lot of books I gotta read around that, which is annoying, because I really want to have a good understanding of everything. So for the first chapter, I basically had to read I read a bit of a book by Jung, and I want to read more of a book by Jung. Essentially, forget all that. This book revealed the fundamentals of filmmaking to me. So that's what I'm really excited about, and I think, and I think the fundamental of filmmaking is basically what the fundamental of psychology is, or psychoanalysis. Because in his book he says basically the work of the psychoanalysis, or study of psychoanalysis, is basically what a storyteller analyzes. It's like they're doing the same thing, which is engineering the human, you could say, psyche or spirit. So you're basically an engineer of emotions, which is basically what he said, and then goes into deeper things about what emotion is. So I basically, at the moment, what I'm working on is, there's this guy called Healthy Gamer GG on YouTube, and he makes videos about psychology. Basically, he wants to get into video game addiction, because apparently that's not a very well studied part of psychology. He's a Harvard graduate, but he's made tons of videos talking to gamers about their problems and stuff, and a lot of it isn't even about video game addiction. And so it's been really interesting that, listening to those, they're not therapy sessions, but they're sort of like therapy sessions. He's not allowed to say they're therapy sessions because that's illegal. So, but listening to them, you listen to these people's lives, and they're tragic, and they talk about their problems and stuff like that. And, you cry when they cry, and you laugh when they laugh, and you sort of go into their experience just the same way you do in a movie. And so it's sort of like there's a Japanese word, I think, satori moment, where it's like, hey, this is what he's doing by going through this guy's emotions, and what I'm doing it, making a story out of it, is the same thing, same effect. So basically I'm trying to break that video down of him talking to this one guy, and I'm going to see if I can make a script out of it. So I'll just see how that works out. Might work out great, might work out bad, but it's a good thing to test out. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you did, Please like and subscribe. And yeah, peace.